Hey everyone, my name is Naman and I'm here to revise my backend concept that I have studied yesterday. Okay, so if you are want to becoming a front-end developer and backend developer and you struggling, what can I learn, what can I study, so you just follow this series episodes that help you to improve your basic backend logics and concepts. Okay, so let's start it. So first of all, I have going to the this is I just check it. Okay, the stream quality is excellent because it's the last time I just trying, it's getting a lot of bugs and errors and still quality is very bad. So I think everything is okay. Now let's start the topic and study. Okay, let's check first of all. This I just check it. Okay, backend logics and concepts. Okay, so let's start it. So first of all, I have going to the okay. This is I just check it. Everything going so great, and let's start it. Okay, here we just check the analytics. You can see. Yeah. So, sure. Today I study the topics. This is notes. No, 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 no. No, now it's perfect. Okay, okay. So this is what is a backend development, and this is a notes that have a YouTube channel, virtual code. You can take this note from that YouTube channel. It's a very good note. I study backend from that playlist. So if you want this notes, you can check out from that YouTube channel. Okay, so let's start it. And what is a backend development? Let's study. First of all, what is backend development? Why we need backend development? If I already have, we do most of the task with the help of front end. Why we need? So we use backend development means working on server side. That's mean we see what will we do on a backend. If you are a client cannot be see what will happen on the server side, which focus on everything you cannot see on a website. This is a user. If user is see anything on the website UI, they can see, but when it's come to the server side and backend, it's can't be able to view this. Okay, so next is we are focusing on database, backend logic, API and application programming interface. Okay, so जो all our the backend है, backend is the concept of three. Backend is most of the like database, backend logics and APIs. These all three come and make the backend. Okay, and the next is programming language. We have a many programming language that we have used to build a backend like JavaScript, Node.js. Right now I've studied JavaScript, Node.js. Okay, so I revised this concept. And Python, Django, Flask, Java, Laravel. Okay, this is the same. This is also used in backend, and the the backend has all the tasks that we have: a database, backend logic, and API. Okay, this is an architecture of how a backend works. First, client. Client send request to the server, and server respond to the client. Okay, if if client want any data from the database, then client request to the server. Server request to the server has a access of database, so they can directly send the data from response. But in between client and server, we have a middleware that check the data, the request will be a valid or not. So we can revise this in future. Okay, in the next maybe in the next day we will revise. Okay, and the next is introduction to Node.js. Node.js is a JavaScript runtime environment that allow developer to run JavaScript code outside the web browser. If you think, if you already know, you create whenever you code in VS Code and HTML, CSS, JavaScript, the code will be run on your browser, and that is a client side. Okay, that is not server side. That is the client side. You can see what you have code. Okay, and next is Node.js run on the V8 JavaScript engine. Uh, the Node.js is run on V8 JavaScript engine that provided by a Google. Okay, that's it. And what is a server? Server is just like a computer that provide you data and such kind of information to another. Just in the simple terms, we have a definition like first of all, let's go on कर लेते हैं. it will be disabled. Now first thing what we have to just basically step by step पढ़ेंगे. First step. The first is a node. What is backend development? Don't spelling mistake मत देखना, ठीक है? And just write it, okay? Backend development means working on server side. Working on server side software, ठीक है? Working on server side software, ठीक है? Basically उनके काम क्या क्या होते हैं? The work is just like API. What is performed by backend? API, backend logic, and the database. Okay, going on database. That's it. Okay. And the next is server. What is server? Server is a computer. Okay, server is a computer and over a system. It's the computer or a system that provide a services. So provide a services. What kind of services? It may be a information, maybe a image, text, video, everything that is provided. That is a server. Okay, server is a computer or a system that provided services. That is server. And the next is what is Node.js? Node.js is a JavaScript runtime environment. Okay, JavaScript runtime environment that provide us that that provide us to write backend in JS. Okay, that is Node.js, and the syntax of Node.js is completely as JavaScript. Okay, it's not a different user thing, or no, we have to learn another language. No, the syntax will be Node.js is similar, just maybe as different methods and functions. You just need to remember, and all is gone. Okay, so first of all, let's start it. Okay, before going so in the theory, just created an folder. And folder is just like revision backend revision. Okay, backend R. That's it. Because when it's run on terminal, we have to write from on elder file to this file. Okay, created. Okay, backend revision is created. Now just close all the tabs and install our first Node.js server. Okay, PD, and that's it. First step. We have goes to backend. Okay, we have in backend revision, and then next is npm install init. npm is a node package manager that used to install all the packages and modules of Node.js. So we can write our Node.js code and JavaScript code easily without any error. Hi buddy, hi hi. that is Node.js. Okay, so it install all the dependencies that we actually need to create our first Node.js server. Okay, so first of all, we click on this backend revision tab, and you can see. Okay, it's back on the track. So first of all, we have created this folder, but nothing is installed in this folder. So we delete it, but I think our VS Code is getting hang. I just close it and reopen again. And let's check it again. Okay. So no, nothing is installed in backend revision folder. So we just deleted this. Why is getting so hanger, bro? Creating an created a new folder called revise backend, and we just created our terminal and just cd and revise backend, enter. Okay, and now we have just installed our all the npm node package manager into this file. So we just write the command npm I npm I. You just write I or install, both are same. Npm install and init. When we just entered, we just see the all the dependencies are successfully installed. Okay, and now we have write the npm install. When we write the command npm install, all the dependencies will download it successfully. You can check it here. Sure buddy, sure, तुम भी लिखवाओगे. Okay. I think we have already a one server in there, so that's why the node packaging are not installed successfully. Or maybe the reason that our internet is very slow. Just take it. It's okay. You just create an npm install and then run the command npm run init. That is that help to install all the node packaging manager dependencies. And when you install it, just go to the your folder and you just open the node module. You just see all the modules will installed in there. Okay, now you have just to go on index.js. This is our main file where we write our code. Okay, so first of all, this is already written code, so we start from scratch. Okay, so we just comment all this, and this. So we just create our first server from scratch so you can understand how the actually things going on. Okay, so that's it. First of all, we have import our node TDP server. So we just use you if you are studying React, you already know how to import modules or files. Okay, so first thing you have to write import express, not express. We have to write import TTP from HTTP. Okay, that's it. By writing this line, you import all the HTTP server module in that in the your file. Okay, so now we have just create our port. Port is just like a number, computer door number in your entire house. It's just show on which port you want to run your server. So just like we whenever we here write localhost 4000. Okay, so that is the port number. Okay, that's a port number where you run your server. So just like we have define our const port 4000. Okay, so that is our port number. You can write what anything. You just write 4000, 3000, 2000, 1000, 4000, whatever you have. I just write 5000. Okay, so this is our port number. Now let's create our server. Okay, this is the most exciting part to create our first server. So first thing, this is why you suggesting me like this. Okay. First thing, we have to write the const server. This is our server. This is our, it's like a variable. This is a basic thing. And then you write HTTP that dot create server. Okay. And then you create your server here. Okay. And let's take two value. Okay. Your address. What is your address is that? Okay. It is your a web address basically. Okay. Nice, bro. Nice. The code is, if you just, is my audible? I think the network is a poor network connection. ये सब मेरे लिए बहुत एडवांस है लेकिन अच्छा लग रहा है देखने में ब्रो इट्स लुक ओनली नाइस while you watching it's very I don't know what to say but it's not so good. Okay, just like it. And then we have write our callbacks request and response. Every server has do two things almost मतलब they just two they request and responses. Every server has two callbacks request and response. The first thing, if the client is taking request to the server, that means client send data to a server or the client want to data from the server. So they just if they want data they request to the server. If they want to send data they just send data. Okay, that is a okay. So now we have just do it is in const server http.create server and request and response. So what we do just we write response dot and write and we have to write whatever we want to send to the server. So just write this is this is our this is our home page. Okay, this is our home page and now you just go on there. Okay, Once you write it, you just say nothing will visible in this code because this site cannot be this because we not started our server yet. So start our server. So if you want to start your server, you write to server dot listen, and you they take two argument, and first is compulsory but second is an optional. So that first is the port number. Port number is 5000. When we run again, it's not run yesterday. Okay? It's not run. We write npm run set. Okay. Okay, we are in the wrong terminal. Close all this and open a new terminal. Cd and backend. This is our file folder. Click. Now we enter in our folder. Now we just run the command npm run tab. Okay. So now you just see our server is created and it will be node MySQL waiting for the file change before starting. So just the port number is 5000. Okay. So we write localhost 5000 and then enter. Why the server is not starting? So my first video and I just like I feel कि कुछ नहीं हुआ, just like error ही error. Hi bro, hi. This is my first video and I live stream and I really feel so stuck. Not because I am not good at English. If anyone watch my live stream, is you have any advice for me so I can work on this? My server. My server is not running, just check it again. The problem is, let's check the error. क्या आ रहा है? I think we need an help of Copilot because I am stuck. चैट जीपीटी का यूज करना इससे बढ़िया रहेंगे यही होता है. So let's check why this is not running properly. Maybe, yeah, good advice bro, let's try. But I don't understand कि आखिर ये चल क्यों नहीं रहा है because last time मैंने कोड रन किया तो चल गया था. So I agree कि you can use the chat GPT and AI for learning, but the actual problem is you have dependency बढ़ जाती है यार. So देखो wrong, ठीक है. Okay, the problem is that we have not stored that content in a server. That's why the code is not running yet. Let's copy this code and understand again line by line. Okay, we use import HTTP from HTTP to import the module. Const port 5 and const port is a port number. That 5000 is a port number, and next is const server. http.create server, we have create a request and responses. If required.url, okay. I use Node.js and I'm coding like Express.js. If we run this code in Express.js, maybe it's run. Okay. So we don't need to write this extra code. It's just make you confused. Okay. Confused नहीं होना हमें ठीक है. This just ends. Okay. And now the smooth this. But let's check is our file. Okay. So now you can see our server is now is running. Yep. Okay. Now our server is running. Now move to the next topic. The first thing, what is server? Server is just created. This is our variable http.create server. So हमने क्या किया, http क्या है, ये फंक्शन है जो कि http से मॉड्यूल्स लेके आ जाता है सर्वर क्रिएट करने के लिए. एंड रिक्वेस्ट एंड रिस्पॉन्स दोस आर कॉल बैक्स. ठीक है. इफ रिक्वेस्ट डॉट यूआरएल इज इक्वल टू में एड्रेस है, दिस इज यू कैन सी दैट एड्रेस. एंड इफ वी जस्ट ऐड द another url request dot url is equal to equal to में user, if the address is this, if address is look like this. Okay. So the output will be s dot send hello, I am user. Okay. So whenever we just slash and write the user, why it's not working? Okay, problem, my bad. It's like now you can see. Okay, and now it's working. Okay. ये sometimes ये जो VS Code session देता है most of the time गलत देता है कभी कभी, ठीक है, सही नहीं देता. So just like okay. So our first server is created and now it's working good properly. हमारी फर्स्ट लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग का पहला सर्वर हमने क्रिएट कर दिया है. ओके ब्रो, फर्स्ट थिंग मेरी इंग्लिश अच्छी नहीं है. दिस इज माय फर्स्ट लाइव स्ट्रीम. ओके तुषार जी, दिस इज माय फर्स्ट लाइव स्ट्रीम एंड मेरी इंग्लिश काफ़ी ख़राब है. सो इफ समवन इज सजेस्टिंग मी एंड आल्सो चैट जीपीटी सजेस्टिंग मी टू स्पीक इंग्लिश more and more so you can improve your English. Does it not make sense? I know. सिंपल सी बात है. मैं लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग इसलिए कर रहा हूँ ताकि जो मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ उसको मैं रिवाइज भी कर सकूँ एंड उसको इंग्लिश में एक्सप्लेन कर सकूँ ताकि मैं थोड़ा इम्प्रूव कर सकूँ. दैट सिंपल. ठीक है. अगर मैं तुम्हें एक सिंपल भाषा में बताऊँ कि मैं यहाँ पे क्यों आया हूँ, ये मेरी फर्स्ट लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग है, मेरी इंग्लिश काफ़ी ख़राब है. थैंक्स बड़ी, थैंक्स भाई. फर्स्ट टाइम तुम मेरी फर्स्ट लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग में आए हो एंड जस्ट लाइक यार तुम ना मेरे को याद रहोगे हमेशा. एंड आई जस्ट लाइक कि मैं भी ट्राई करूँगा कि अपनी इंग्लिश इम्प्रूव कर सकूँ. एंड जस्ट लाइक यार कैन यू जस्ट गिव मी एन एडवाइस हाउ आई कैन इम्प्रूव माई इंग्लिश, बिकॉज आई थिंक I have a very bad English. Just I'm trying so hard to make it perfect, but most of the time I'm wrong. Okay, maybe a lack of confidence and the native language is Hindi, so it's very sometimes it's difficult to say English. Although, okay, so is fluency. Is fluency. Is fluency. Okay, bro. Let's check it. What is fluency? I never hear about. I use Duolingo to improve my English. Okay, there is fluency in English. Duolingo. Okay. I in this browser after the live streaming. I sure check this. Okay. Okay, bro. I use it. Of course, of course. Thanks, buddy. Okay. So now let's back on the track and understand exactly. Okay. So okay. So first, I have successfully created my first server and it's working successfully. Clearly, it's given lot of error, but now it's working. That's a big thing. Okay, this is our first live stream. It's okay to be feel. It's okay to be fail. Okay. Yeah, of course, brother. प्रॉब्लम इज दैट ना मैं तुम्हें अपनी रियल एडवाइस दूँ ना, तो पता है मेरे साथ एक्चुअली क्या हुआ था कि मैं 2-3 इंटरव्यू दे चुका हूँ, एंड द फर्स्ट थिंग वहाँ पे कहीं कहीं जो था, जो लैंग्वेज की डिपेंडेंसी होती है ना, वो उतनी ज़्यादा नहीं थी। दे जस्ट से कि हाँ यार तुम बता दो जैसे भी। बट व्हेन इट्स कम टू अ गुड कंपनी जिसमें थोड़ा अच्छा खासा मेरे को स्टाइपेंड वगैरह दे सकते थे थोड़ा, तो वहाँ पे ना मेरी इंग्लिश जो लैग करी ना, तो उसने मेरा कॉन्फिडेंस काफ़ी ज़्यादा ख़राब कर दिया। एंड आई एम स्टिल यार कि पता नहीं क्या हो गया। तुम्हें पता है, अगर इफ यू जस्ट लाइक कि नमन रिवाइव इंस्टाग्राम है, तुम जाके चेक कर सकते हो। वहाँ पे ना मैंने 3 साल मेहनत करके अपनी बॉडी ट्रांसफॉर्म कर ली, लेकिन जस्ट लाइक कि मैं अपनी इंग्लिश इंप्रूव नहीं कर पा रहा। आई जस्ट फील कि यार क्या करूँ अब मैं? आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग कि हो जाएगा, लेकिन आई जस्ट मैं डिमोटिवेट हो गया। गिव अप भी मैं सोच रहा हूँ कर, लेकिन जस्ट लाइक कि गिव अप कर दूंगा तो ऐसी कोई चांस नहीं है कि शायद कुछ हो। तो जस्ट ट्राई करो यार। मे बी टू तड़ाक कैसी भी इंग्लिश आ रही है, जस्ट ट्राई करते हैं। मे बी इफ यू जस्ट से कि ब्रो जस्ट ट्राई एंड बी कंसिस्टेंट एंड यू विल बी फ्लुएंट। यस ऑफ कोर्स ब्रदर, आई ट्राई माय बेस्ट, and this comment is motivated me so much. Okay, thanks buddy. Thanks Saurav Rana. Okay, so let's first of all, our first server is created HTTP. The next is, a server is a computer or a system that provides services. Server क्या है? Is a system that provides services. Services like attacks, API. If you ever created a project like weather project, you just simply write the location and the server will send you a response and give you detail about weather report. It's just like how much the cloud, how much the sun, how much the temperature is, how much the air quality index is. It's all come from API. Okay, then if the server is just like an API, you also say the server is an API because it's give the data on the basis of request and responses. Okay, example. Just simple is example. When you open a website, your browser, the client send a request to a server, and the server send back the website data, so you can see it. Simple चीज है. It's just like when you open a website, so browser, the client send a request and a server, and back to the website. It's simple. And the next is our first server is Node.js. Okay, we have just used this code. Maybe तुम्हें ही पता है, आधे घंटे से हम error fix कर रहे थे, but now it's working. Okay. Backend is, let's check it. Okay, so let's first of all, our first server is created HTTP. The next is, a server is a computer or a system that provides services. Okay, so now its network is maybe correct. I'm not sure it's perfect. So this is server our created. Routing in Node.js. Routing is just like this is the using C and slash. This is an address bar. This is routing. When this is user, this is another route. This is another routing, and this is another routing. Okay, and if we created another server, another routing, so we just use if and request